Good morning, good morning, good morning. I was thinking about something on last night, and I really wanted to get up this morning and share with you before I got out of here this morning. I was looking at some material, and it was a quote in this material that I was reading, and it said, "Don't lose your head to gain a minute. Don't lose your head. Your brain is in it." I thought that's so powerful. And as I talked to you on this morning, I just wanted to share this because I believe that all of us need to be reminded of that. Because as life happens with us, sometimes we feel like we're going to lose our mind. We really do. So that was a reminder to me. Don't lose your head, girl, just for a minute. To gain a minute, you need your head because your brain are in it. Sometimes things can be bearing down on you in life that nobody knows about, and you feel like you're going to lose your mind, but you're not. Because we are much stronger than we tend to think that we are. We are faced with situations in life that we wonder, can I get past this? Can I get over this? Can I get beyond this? All of us have been there. I don't care who you are. As a counselor, guess what? I've had to get counseling too. It don't matter what your profession is. What matters is that you identify with the fact that you're not the first person to go through whatever you're going through in life, because nothing is new up under the sun. But when you need help, when you need somebody to talk situations through, you go find that and you operate in that. And everybody doesn't have to know that, because counseling is more in depth, one-on-one, because you are actually dealing with the mind, the brain of someone. I know, I do it. And you got to be careful how you handle people, because what you say, they're going to react to it. Because I'm not ashamed to say it. As a counselor, I've had to have counseling, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's a smart move because you know that you're at a point that just your thoughts alone is not helping you to hold on. You need somebody to talk to, but you need somebody trustworthy to talk to, because you can't just talk to anybody. When you're going through life, you just cannot talk to anybody. And we are under a code of ethics. In my profession, we are under a code of ethics. And you had better not break that thing, because all those years that it took you to gain those credentials, you can lose them overnight. So I'm going to talk on this subject. Don't lose your head this morning. I want to talk on that because I feel like a lot of people are, and I'm beginning to see it even more and more, that a lot of people feel like they're losing their mind. They can't hold on another second. But I want to tell you, you can. You just have to reflect back on some things and look at what you've already come through. Look at where you already come from. Look at things you've already beat the odds on. What life brings us sometimes is not always pleasant. We're going to have some ups, we're going to have some downs. But through it all, we can make it. If you wake up to breathe another day, that's another day of hope. That is another day of hope. And I said it on yesterday and I will say it today. Stop living our lives. We have got to stop living our lives. And that's around the globe. So, like, fatalist. In other words, like there's no fatalism. There's no hope. Because there is hope. As long as you wake up to see another day and you're breathing, there is hope for your life, for my life. You just can't lose your head. You just got to be reminded, my brain is in there. My brain is in there. Another day to wake up, you know what, is another day to change your life and somebody else's. Because we all have strengths that we may not realize that we have until our back is up against the wall. Have your back ever been up against the wall? Let me tell you something my dad told me. When your back is up against the wall, you don't slide down the wall. You find a way to get your back off the wall. That's how life works. You can't just be up against the wall and slide down the wall. You gotta start thinking. What do I need to do? What can I do to get my back off the wall? Because as long as you are living, something is going to take place in your life, because we all are on the mountaintop sometimes, and then we all got to go in the valley sometimes. But while you're in the valley, the least you can do is pray. Since you're in the valley anyway, not give up, pray while you're in the valley. That's your time between you and God before you go back to the mountaintop, where it seems like everything that you touch turns to gold. Everybody that you come in contact with, it's like nothing that you say could ever be the wrong thing. You ever been like that? It's just like everything in life just seems like it's in place. We've all walked that when we're on the mountaintop. But never think that you always gonna be on the mountaintop. You going in the valley sometimes. But while you there, pray. Because while you on that mountaintop, let me tell you something. It's some enemies up there. It's some enemies up there that want to take you down and want to take you back in your valley. But it's up to you to decide whether or not that you are going to allow them to do that to you. So, because when you come to that realization in that first sentence that I read from that quote, don't lose your head to gain a minute. See, at that moment, in other words, don't get yourself connected to things that you know that you wouldn't do if you were thinking clearly. Don't go out there and try something that could cost you your life just to gain a minute. A minute of what? A minute of happiness, a minute of you think it's happiness, a minute of getting away from something and not thinking about something. Always try to find yourself doing the right thing in your life. Because people are not going to do that for you. You got to do that for yourself to make sure that in the times of trouble, you are still keeping your head straight, keeping your head on your shoulder, and realizing that your brain is in it. Because something that you try for temporary happiness is never a good thing. It's never a good thing. That's how people end up in relationships that's unhealthy. They end up on drugs and alcohol because you lose your head for a minute, just to gain something. that you thought was worth something and it wasn't. And that thing could have cost you. We gravitate sometimes to the wrong people in life. We gravitate to the wrong environments in life. But I was listening, and I want to share this morning, a few things before I go further. And I've been speaking of Joe Madison, the late Joe Madison from Sirius XM 126, and they're replaying some of his interviews from his archives. But I wanted to share what I heard from, and many of you may know Jane Elliott that does it's called the Blue-Eyed, Brown-Eyed Experience. She said some things on that interview that stuck with me, and I wanted to share them with you this morning because I feel like it can help all of us. All of us. And she said, remember these things that her dad told her is what helped her to continue in life. And that is why she goes around and share with others so that they may share with others. Because guess what? Nothing is new up under the sun. So she said this morning, never put a stone. This is something that her dad told her. Never put a stone in another man's back. Never put a stone in another man's back. And she went on to explain that. The reason why you don't do that, why are you trying to do something to keep another man down? Never do that, because you're going to end up hurting yourself when you do things to try to destroy someone else. It don't matter who you are. It doesn't matter how high you are up on the totem pole. Because at the end of the day, what you do to somebody else to destroy you, to destroy them, it's going to come back to you. It's going to come back to you whether you want to believe that thing or not. So she said, never put a stone in another man's back. That hit me to the core because I see people do that all the time. I've had it done to me. Where somebody deliberately trying to hurt you, deliberately trying to take you down, not realizing you might be successful at it at that time, but that thing is coming back to you. It will meet you because what you do to others will come back to you. Another thing she said, education. I want my young people to really understand this. And I work in education, higher education. Listen, education leads you out of ignorance. Education leads you out of ignorance. That's why people don't want you to be educated. That's why people don't want you to learn things. Because when you learn, you grow. It opens you up to new things in life, to new opportunities in life. Never let anyone tell you that education is not important, because it's an important piece in life, because it helps you to continue to grow and it helps to move you out of ignorance. So never be afraid to learn more in life. Never be afraid of that, because when you're afraid of educating yourself, you become afraid of growing. And that's the last thing you want to do in life, is to stop growing. Every day is another day to rise up and be the best you that you can be. Every day. Let no one tell you anything different. Another thing she shared is that when people come into your life, some people that don't mean you well, guess what? They bring ignorance with them. Understand that. When people come into your life that don't mean well by you, they bring ignorance with them. That's why you have to continue to educate yourself so that you don't allow others to filtrate into your life ignorance, because they'll take you to a place that you don't want to be. Going right back to what I'm talking about. Don't lose your head to gain a minute. In other words, don't forget about the important things to you, for you to gain a friendship or a relationship with somebody who don't even mean you well. And you trying to gain a minute with them. Don't do that. And we're all guilty of it, young and old. Because we don't realize sometimes that these people that's coming into our lives that don't mean us any good are bringing ignorance with them. That's true. That is so true. And another thing, when she was speaking, this is again Jane Elliott. She leaves these tidbits. Everybody can drop jewels in your life. You just have to read and listen to things that make sense. That's going to help you to grow. Because not one person know everything. We all learning. We're all being educated when we allow ourselves to be. She said you can't discover a place where people already live. You hear people say, I discovered this and I discovered that. No, you didn't. People already live somewhere that you saying you discovered. A good example she used of that was Christopher Columbus. How did Christopher Columbus discover the world was not flat when people was already there? That's the example that she used. How can people come in your life and say they discovered you? You already there. You already exist. That's people trying to take the control of your mind, to get into your mind, to get into your head and make you think the way they want you to think so that they can get you to that point of excitement, of feeling like they mean well by you when they know that they don't. But you have to be, and I have to be, we all have to be reminded that when people come into our lives to try to take control of our lives, who don't have a good agenda for our lives, they bring their ignorance with them. And this is why you have to educate yourself every day. Every day. Teach yourself something. Read something. Listen to something. Do something to help educate yourself. Because you are the most important person in your life. And until you realize that, somebody's going to always get in your head that don't belong there. See, because education is a big thing to me. And I realized, even before Jane Elliott said it, I realized education leads us out of ignorance as individuals. So I say to you this morning, I'm not going to hold you long. Getting ready to get off of here. Don't lose your head to gain a minute. Don't lose your head. Your brain is in it. All right? Keep moving. Wherever you're at right now, if your back is up against the wall, get your back off that wall. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Stop beating yourself up. and do something. You lived another day to breathe, to have life in your body. Don't you dare give up. Don't you dare. Okay? Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.